Hello everyone, welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn. Today is going to be a short one. Probably the shortest episode actually. I said the last one was the shortest, I think this one is probably going to be the shortest. We're going to be going back to Gridania to do a spooky quest, which, again, doesn't really have that much bearing on later events in the story, but it does have a dungeon in it. So it's going to be a nice, short and sweet episode. We get a good story, I think. I don't mind the story that much. But yeah, again, we're just going to Gridania and doing a couple of things. It feels filler, which it is. But that's something that's found in all expansions, it feels. Even up to Dawn Trail, you kind of get filler. But we're going to be doing the quest, Terror at Fallgourd. Minfilia has another lead for you to pursue. Okay. While you were attending to business in Fanalan, some new information arrived courtesy of our friends the Sylphs. An individual fitting La Brea's description has been sighted in the North Shroud. This sighting comes in the wake of a series of mysterious deaths in the self-same area. My instincts tell me that our man is involved. I would have you continue your investigation where you left off. 12 willing, we will pick up La Brea's trail once more, and if not, he will probably be important later anyway. Noraxia can furnish you the details. Pray speak of her and take it from there. As always, be careful out there. I love the phrase, furnish you with details. I love the use of the word furnish, because I always think about it like furniture. But no, it means to give you information in a comfortable way. And yeah, I just enjoy that term a lot. I think that it is, it sounds nice, it's a nice word, and yeah, that's all I'm going to say on that matter. Noraxia, hello. Walking One is oh god. Walking One is to investigate Sinister One, then he'd want well this one's word. This one is friends of a Walking One in the Ash Crown Consortium. According to Friendly One, a Digging One named Medrod had an encounter with a scary Mass One. This Mass One is most certainly Sinister One. Walking One should go and speak of Digging One, Medrod. Digging One is to be found at Fallgourd Float, and I always feel like that should be pronounced differently, but it is Fallgourd. Fallgourd Float in the North Shroud. Right. Now, we could obviously teleport here, but we haven't actually been to the North Shroud yet. And thus, I would preferably like to go there the organic way. So we're going to go to New Gridania, and then we're going to walk there. The North Shroud, one of the areas in the game I'm not a big fan of, just in terms of it kind of falls into a lot of the issues that Realm Reborn areas kind of have. That being that they are very small, and they don't feel like they have a whole lot going on in them. The scale feels off. But they've gotten better at it. Heaven's Sword definitely starts having massive, sprawling areas instead of doing a lot of smaller ones. I think that's a far better way of doing it. And as we're going to see here, the North Shroud doesn't really have a whole lot going on in it that I care about necessarily. The main thing being the Ixal, I guess. Outside of that, there are the Allegan Ruins, which look kind of cool. But yeah, North Shroud is one of the few areas in the game that I forget even exists. Because like East Shroud has the Sylphs and like important plot stuff later on. South Shroud at least has the, oh my god, this place looks fucking beautiful. Never mind. Tension. Oh shit, is Odin here right now? Or so that's the wrong mount. Because I think this is the weather effect that occurs when Odin spawns. I like how I'm saying I don't like this area, and the first thing the game does is throw me into... Where's Chocobo? Oh, minion. I'm looking at fucking minions. The first thing the game does is throw me into a beautiful looking weather effect. Never mind, game. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for not tooting your horn more. This is beautiful. I love the blue mist right now. Good luck with that, buddy. So yeah, I guess I do like the North Shroud now because it has this beautiful weather effect going on. There's no music either. What's going on? the next MSQ storyline will take place in. I mean, they have done that before. They have, like, teased later locations by having, like, things appearing in earlier places. Okay, we got the nice music back now. I'm kind of spooked out a little bit, not gonna lie. What's going on? Outside. Please leave me be. I'm not long for this world. I look death in the face. It's only a matter of time before he comes for me, just like he came for that poor woman. Medjob is clearly traumatized. Perhaps if we were to soothe him, he might remain calm for long enough to hold a conversation. Ah yes, Rahana, the known therapist, who will soothe this man. There, it will be alright. Just don't go outside right now. I think something weird is going on out there. You're right. It's not as bad as it seems. I saw something terrible, that's true, but that hardly means I'm going to suffer the same fate. Thanks to you, I can think straight again. I believe I can even recount what I saw without losing it. It was another ordinary day. I headed back to the float when I noticed a suspicious character in the distance. A masked man, garbed head to toe in black. He had a hideous fiend in tow, a winged creature that was all... Okay, winged or winged? I always say winged. That was all eyeball and jagged teeth. Taken by curiosity, I crept. You don't say jagged, you say jagged. So I think it is winged. I crept as near as I dared. To see the corpse of a woman. One glimpse was enough to tell me that she died a gruesome death. In that instant, I knew right away that the masked man was a minion of Fall, come to claim her soul for his realm. I don't know about that. I think this might be something else, buddy. What? You're investigating the self-same man? That's not what he said, but it's the same thing. If that's the case, we'll help you in whatever way we can. Do you like my goggles and how they clip through my hair? Aye, anything to ensure they won't suffer Medjord's hysteria ever again. Guy, you saw something traumatic, dude. Alright, teamwork. That's what I wanted to. Wait, I haven't been that bad, have I? Anyway, I'm all for helping this adventurer. It's the least I can do to repay him for comforting me. I will say this episode is going to be the calm before the storm, because next episode, outside of the Garuda stuff, might be the most boring quest chain in the entire game. And it's so bad I had to divide it into 2 parts, because there's no way we're going to get through all that in one sitting. I'm of course speaking about the Limsa stuff with Ishtola, and the champions of the heroes, the cheese quest. I hate it. I hate it a lot. I don't enjoy it. Oh, why do we leave? What is going on here? I need to find out, because I've never seen this before. I don't think I've ever seen this before in Gridania. It is when Odin appears. I want to go fucking find him then. Where is he? Don't disturb the grove? It'll be level 50. Rude Awakening. Right, for the one time only, I might fly over here so we don't miss out on the fate. I want to see what this is. I've never seen this before. Apparently it's super rare too. That Odin? No. Where does Odin appear? Gridania. Tension. It's in Central Shroud apparently. So is this also in Central Shroud too? What the fuck? In all of my, like, I started playing this game in 2022. In all of my time playing this game, I have never seen this happen before. Where does he spawn? Where does Odin spawn? He can spawn in one of many different locations. Maybe someone else has killed him. Okay, let's go to the East Shroud and have a look in there. I know I'm like breaking my own rules here, but I've never seen this before. I need to know what's going on. Thunderstruck. It'll be level 50. It'll be a level 50 quest, 100%. Well, we're going to South Shroud for the final one. The Earth's font is in the South Shroud. Because you do fight Odin. Either way, spooky. I'm going to go with the Earth's font. Even if it's not here, I want to go over here anyway to have a look. This is awesome. Wow. It's in all the areas? That is amazing. Okay. Well, that is a hell of a coincidence. The fact that we go to Gridania during a tension event, and we also had that hunt before with Fallgourd appears. Is this playthrough blessed? This is a Realm Reborn playthrough blessed. Well, it's not blessed anymore after saying that. It really adds to the tension right now. Literally in the quest line, we're doing a spooky quest. And we have spooky ambience going on too. That's wonderful. This is so ridiculous. Aideen has a proposal to make concerning your investigation. Here's what I know about the deaths. All the victims were found with their faces torn to shreds. Among the local fauna, only the Scoutkin known as this could inflict such wounds. That's why some folks are pointing a finger at them. I somehow doubt that the answer's that simple, but for the sake of thoroughness, we should look into it. Why don't you put down, say, fear creatures? See if you can find the information that proves the connecting them to the deaths. Okay, I'll do that. No, the weather effect is gone. Also, I am flying. I need to stop doing that now. No. Well, we got it for like a good 5 minutes, and I had no idea what was going on. I felt like that only showed up to make the North Shroud more interesting. Anyway, I'm gonna go find a Zeus. I'm gonna head back to the quest marker. Zeus has been done. You've already seen to the Zeus? Good work, adventurer. So you're able to find aught to suggest that the creatures are our culprits? No, and it's kind of feeling like you wanted me just to kill the creatures and not had nothing to do with the masked man at all. Sorry, I was using you. I want an NPC to be like that. I want an NPC to send me out to go do something and then tell me they just did it so that I could do an errand of theirs. That'd be amazing. Nothing. Truth be told, even if there was proof, I wouldn't know what it would look like. You just said you know what? Anyway, I believe we can safely strike this from our list of suspects. Lead up with the masked man and his winged eyeball. I hate you. I can't believe you do this to me. Wait, what? What the fuck? Okay. They both have different quests. Seeing eye to winged eye. Evolot has information to share regarding your investigation. There's something you should know. I've been keeping this to myself, lest I worsen Medjod's paranoia. But I too have seen the winged eyeball. I cannot say whether it was a coincidence, but my sightings took place precisely the same time as Medjod's. I was heading home after a day of digging when a shadow fell upon me. Looking up, I found myself locked in the gaze of a giant eyeball. I let out a scream at the top of my lungs and ran without once looking back. You're saying this right in front of him. It is worth noting he is right next to you right now. This happens at the rocky area west of here. In case you had a mind to investigate. Maybe I do. Maybe this investigation will bear fruit, but probably less so considering it's like 2 different side quests. Well, that's weird. You kind of get that now. They kind of got a structure going on, and I kind of hope they change it, to be honest, because it does feel very formulaic at this point. But ever since Stormblood, they have always separated. No, ever since Heavensward, actually, I think, because you also, you choose to go to either Sea of Clouds or the Curth's Western Highlands first. They have you go off and do a different objective at the beginning of the MSQ. So either do one or the other, and then you have to do both to continue the main story. Again, I kind of hope that they change that, because it's very formulaic. Also, just ignore that I'm flying down here. It's fine. No, don't see me! No! Okay, we're good. Nothing to see here. Oh. Oh, no, it's a spider! Actually, it only has 6 legs. No, wait, no, it does have 8 legs. Oh, God. My spider senses were not working there. Usually I can tell if it's going to scare me because I can tell immediately it has 8 legs. I mean, I guess like it's not that bad because the front 2 legs are like pincers. So I don't really see them as legs, if that makes any sense. Probably doesn't. Alright, well, a winged eyeball did not appear if our vault. A monstrous banner might appeared, and you slew it. That creature had long been a scourge upon the folk of Fallgourd. Intentional or not, you have done us a great service. You have my gratitude. But this does make me wonder, was it truly a winged eyeball I saw, or merely a trick of the light combined with blind panic? These quests are all filler! Filler quests! Aideen has further knowledge of the mysterious deaths. There's something else I heard about the deaths. It appears all the victims have been comely maidens. I better watch myself, eh? Unseemly japes aside, is that really something to jape about? Like, lots of maidens have lost their lives. There's been rumour going around. There's some as whispers that after each victim died, her Rancor went into the great big rock southwest of here, causing it to flash and moan. This bears investigating, I reckon. I'm going to give you a fire sand stick to blow off a piece of that crag. That stick doesn't come with a fuse or anything, so you have to throw the thing. Once you've torn the rock a new one, bring them back to some of the fragments and I'll give them a gander. Grease Stain. That is a hell of a name. Warrior of Stain. Stain of Light. Oh god, I don't like the sound of that at all. Right, okay, I'm going to go throw some fire sand stick at some rocks, I guess. I don't think I've mentioned this, but the Allegan ruins here are very cool looking. They don't really have that much of a role in the plot. They're more so just to show how much the 7th Umbral era, the Calamity, like, destroyed everything. But it does have a role in the coils, which again I might do at some point in the future. So here we've got to wait. Is this how it was in the original? Because I don't think that they had this mechanic yet. But yes, we've got to go here, click the icon, and then put this here. A lot easier than it used to be. Before you had to go into your menu and do all that, but now you can just press the button here. You kids got it easy these days in Final Fantasy XIV. Right, let's teleport. Wait, no, not yet. We've got to get the rocks first. One. Two. 3. 4. 5. Right, well that was dumb. I like how, again, I'm gonna be saying this a lot in this playthrough, but I like how they made those interaction points not long enough to be annoying, but long enough to be noticeable and make you pick up all 5. Most folks are too scared to go within 100 yards of the Rock of Rancor. It has a name. There was a few vengeful spirits to adorn an adventurer like you, eh? Here you go, here's your light aspect of crystal. Get used to these crystals, chat, because they're going to be a very important part of a later quest. Bigger than a shard, but not quite large enough to be a cluster. The energy is emitted by the crystals, likely tingle the hands of any who touch it. Huh? Why are these are just your garden variety crystals? It's a bit hard to tell beneath all the dirt and grime, but they're definitely lightning aspected. I almost hate to say it, but that explains the flashing and moaning. Nothing to do with the mass, but the moaning. How does it explain the moaning? Look, I've gone and wasted both your time and a perfectly good fire stand stick. Oh well indeed. Oh, wasting my time. I got like limited time on this earth, but I'm fine playing through Realm Reborn again just to get these pointless side quests in. Power of Deduction. Mitchell was troubled by the dearth of new developments in the murder investigation. That word is too close to death for my liking. Maybe it means like deftly. There's been no promising leads in the murders. I can scarce get a wink of sleep knowing that the killer is still at large. Judging by your furrowed brows, I take it this side business troubles you as much as it does me. I have been pondering my encounter. I was uncertain for a time, but there could be no doubt. It was a winged eyeball that I witnessed. It's implausible that I could have mistaken so distinct a creature from a Bannermite. Is it Bannermite or Banemite? I think it's my Bannermite. But you and I were miles apart. How could we have both seen it at precisely the same time? What's more, our adventure friend here had a run-in with the Bannermite at the very spot you claimed to see the fiendish eye. Isn't that right? There must be an explanation. I know I saw an eyeball of wings. I would wager an apple tart on it. What? The apple tart? I wouldn't do that. Oh, the lighting just changed. That was ominous. He's serious. But listen, maybe it's as mysterious as we're making it out to be. There's no reason why it's not as mysterious as we're making it out to be. There's no reason why there couldn't be. Oh, gods, of course. There must be more than one of the buggers. That's so obvious, but then that means, since there's been a repeated sighting of these fiends, then there must be even more victims as yet undiscovered. I'm surprised you haven't found them yet. The wood whalers are shit, guys. But they couldn't find the masked man in Gridania, now they can't find these floating eyeballs. Collective gulp. I'm the only one who does any work here, damn it. I do believe we're out of our depth. We ought to leave the rest to the expert. Yes, with the civilians after all, good luck adventure. It was a pleasure knowing you. While I burn to know the truth, some things are best left unknown, lest you have forgotten it was the rocky area to the west I had my encounter. Should you discover aught of note, you'll want to alert the authorities. There is a guardhouse nearby. The serpents there should be pleased with any new information that pertains to the security of the region. Unbelievable. Unfucking believable. I'm gonna call my manager, my agent. This is terrible. Anyway, we're gonna go over here and help them. Right, we're gonna go all the way over to the Finder's Bluff, huh? Okay then. Oh yeah, I'm sure this is gonna be fine. Mangled. Oh! Oh, that's a floating eye. That's terrifying. And it's dead. Mangled corpse. How did a giant eye like that mangled his corpse? Oh, okay, I've just got her. This Realm Reborn loves putting corpses in your inventory. Like, we had this with the graveyard as well, and they like have little flowers that appear on the screen. Hey, 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 hey. Back off. Oh, fuck off, you! Oh. Every single enemy out there tried to grab Rahana's ass. Greetings, adventurer. Is that all I might assist you with? This body of the poor soul has been defiled in more ways than one. Oh. Gods be good, not again. No matter how many bodies I see, cannot seem to get used to the horrid sight. Poor woman. You got like a mask on? What's going on? Tentacle deaths have been reported in the Central Stroud, while the masked stranger you seek does not seem to feature in any sightings of the winged eyeball, common enough. The creatures appear to be moving the bodies, but to what end, none can say. The victims have all been young women. All I've found are their faces mutilated beyond recognition. But it's been difficult to identify them, so it's not notified their decks of. I mean, okay, I will say this: like, if this was like a later expansion and they didn't want to have to like make a corpse that was mutilated, they just wouldn't show the corpse, to show the guy looking at the corpse. This is like the way this is framed. I should be seeing like this, but it's not, and she's just wearing a mask, I guess. Did he put the mask on her? This button engraved with a lily motif. The very same object was found upon another victim, a family sigil, or that of an organization, perhaps. I don't know, Aethelmer. Either way, I dare to hope that this find will prove pivotal in solving the murders. Level 28. So this is going to be the last episode where we play as Pugilist as well, by the way, because the next quest series is going to be level 30, which is sad. I'm going to miss Pugilist, but we are going to be moving on to Monk. Aethome wants you to hold onto the button. I would have you hold onto the lily button. You will need it to continue your investigation. While it isn't standard procedure to entrust key evidence to individuals, you have proven yourself reliable and resourceful in this matter. I see no reason why you shouldn't carry on your work. If I might make a suggestion, you may wish to take the button to Gridania and have it examined by Emilion. Perhaps someone in her vast network of contacts can shed light upon its sigil. Mother? We get to see Mother! Oh, there she is! Good morning to you, Rahana. By your grim expression, I suspect you aren't here for scones and herb tea. Yes, chat, scones, not scones. A lily sigil is carved into this tiny ivory button. Well, isn't this a lovely little button? The engraving is quite exquisite. Artisan level quality, I would say. Where did you find this? On a dead body? Lovely. Anyway, I'm afraid I do not recognize the lily sigil. You have to find the answer the old-fashioned way, by asking around. You could do worse than beginning with Bernadette over by the Aethite Plaza. He has a sharp eye, a pair of eyes, that one. Oh, I don't mind doing quests around Gridania. At least there's people around. It's not a giant location. I can get Umbrella out too when it starts raining. There we go. Get Cactus Umbrella out. I know why this quest series exists. Because they need to have a quest in North Shroud. Because you haven't been there yet at all in terms of questing. Which makes sense in my head. I think it could have been done in a way that feels more interesting. The thing is about an Realm Reborn remake, which is what people want, is I don't really know how much they can do, because there's not a whole lot of story they have to work with. They have the Guardians, I guess, and they can't really change too much because of how tight this narrative is after Shadowbringers and Endwalker. Maybe they'll include some 1.0 stuff in there, include Meteor and Nail maybe, but I don't know. I don't know how they would do it. That's how I would go about it. Just combine the two plotlines together. Need help tracking down the owner of the button? That's certainly not a request I receive on a regular basis. Well, go on then. Tell me what you have. I got a lily sigil carved into this tiny ivory button. Seems to be some manner of decorative button, reminiscent of those worn by the families of old, though I cannot claim to know its sigil. However, I can say with certainty that the white lily is a recurring theme in Gridanian culture. Alas, I do not know who would make a personal sigil of it. If there is a soul in Gridania who does, it would be Fallgourd over at the Lancers Guild. The woman makes a point of knowing all the citizens on a foreman basis. I feel like that's something that Million should be doing, but okay, I'll go speak to Fallgourd, I guess. Million 2, the electric boogaloo. So we're going to be taking use of the good old fast travel feature, because I don't want to walk all the way through Gridania. And it's still raining here, of course it would be. What's going on here, guys? But you best believe it won't. Apologies, my lord, it won't happen again. What did you do, man? Bernadette believes I can help you. Well, that is a bold assumption to make. I'll try to assist, never you fear, but whether aught comes of it is another matter. Now then, what do you require of me? I got lily sigils carved into this tiny ivory button. Fascinating. Works of this quality is rarely seen in the hands of ordinary Gridanians. The owner of this button is most certainly well to do. I wish to take your search to the Great Countries Ward northwest of here. Wait, a memory comes to me. Of late there has been a man who is perpetually seated at the bench by the ward's entrance. His name is Ursendel, and I distinctly recall seeing a remarkably similar design upon the breast of his jacket. I dare say he can tell you a thing or two about it. Oh, we got a man with knowledge, do we? Mayhap this will be important for this quest. So the whole hunting down the Ascian is just an excuse for us to do this quest line, which I don't mind. Again, I prefer this one because it's spooky. You just gotta kind of take your poisons a little bit, as opposed to the next one, which I'm gonna hate. Maybe I won't hate it. Maybe it'll be fine, but I remember not enjoying it. I do not believe we are acquainted. Pray leave me to my thoughts. Well, don't you worry, I got a lily button, which has a lily sigil is carved into this tiny ivory button. The sigil of the Dartoncourt's family. How? How is it you came to be in possession of this button? From the body of a murdered woman? Her face, was it marred in any way? I had feared as much. I can no longer feign ignorance. I shall reveal to you the truth of the deaths, but on one condition. You promise to put an end to my lady's madness, and free her from her torment. If it's not fun, I'm not going to do it. I mean, yes, I'll help you, whatever. I'm a warrior of light. Well, not yet, I'm an adventurer. Skeletons in her closet. Ursendal has a confession to make regarding the mysterious murders. I was once a manservant in the employ of one of the oldest and proudest families in Gridania, the Rancors. During that time I had the honour of waiting upon Lady Amandine, a mistress of the household. Fair as summer was she, possessed of a heart befitting her radiance. Alas, the calamity wrought a great change in her. Though my lady escaped of her life, death may well have been a kinder fate. Never will I forget the day her bandages were removed, and she beheld her disfigured face for the first time. At that moment, the kindly woman I knew ceased to be. Unable to bear the thought of being seen, my lady sequestered herself within her chambers, and refused all company. This continued for many uneasy moons, until one day, without warning, she began receiving queer guests, none among them whence they came, these masked men. But my lady believed that they would help her to regain what she had lost. So began the rites of rejuvenation. These rituals seemed innocent enough in the beginning, but grew even more grotesque as time went by. Eventually, there came a day when my lady bound one of her handmaids to the bed, and proceeded to mutilate the poor girl's face. Suffice it to say, she did not survive the ordeal. It fell to me to dispose of her body. Damn! I performed the dreadful task as bade, obedient servant that I was. But when the time came to return to the house, my legs refused to move. I knew then I could not go back to that place, not after the nightmare I had witnessed. So it was that I left Haukke Manor, my home for nigh on half a century. Thanks for the polite bow, I guess, after that. Long did I weep for the girl who was slain, and longer still for the woman that Lady Amandine has been, yet one cannot weep forever. I endeavoured to put the matter behind me. Indeed, I had resolved never to speak of my experience until you appeared before me. My lady's matters must be ended, lest more innocent lives be lost. Lay our tormented soul to rest, as you swore to me you would. She awaits you at Haukke Manor, in the western edge of the central shroud. Go now. Go and do what must be done. I like the storyline. Like, up until this point, this quest has been kind of naff, but then they bring this whole thing about Ursendal and the Haukke Manor, and ended up kind of ending on an interesting little story beat that I enjoy. I just like spooky stuff, and this game does that pretty well so far. So we're going to be teleporting there, but since we have not been to this region yet, we've kind of been close to this region. If you remember the first episode where I fell off that log, we've been close to this place. And we could come like log again, but we don't need to because we can actually get to that area through South Gridania, I think, right? Yes, through this door. What's that door called? White Wolf Gate Guard, right. So I want to head over to this 8th right here, and then I'll be able to teleport over there. And yeah, this is a dungeon. So Haukke Manor, I will talk about when we get into the dungeon itself, but it's a dungeon I both really like and respect, but I also remember it being a lot worse than it was now. They've changed it so much since it first was made. They've made it a lot more accommodating to new players and dealing with certain weird mechanics that have since been removed, which is what like the whole new dungeon kind of thing was. It was trying to make the mechanics easier for new players to understand, and not like encourage, not discourage them from doing them. So yeah, we're heading towards Haukke Manor now, and as usual, there needs to be someone outside for us to activate the dungeon. But Yeah, you get to see it over here, this cool looking mansion, which they use quite a lot for the Halloween stuff, and I don't really blame them. See, if the like the Tempest effect was still going on right now, the tension one, this would look amazing. Here it is. Ow! Dick! Hi, I'm here. Manor Gate. Haukke Manor, now accessible. Oh, I thought there would be a person here, but I guess not. So yeah, we can now enter Haukke Manor. And before we head in there, I'm going to do the description as I tend to do. Haukke Manor. Once used by Seedseers as a mean for spiritual reflection and meditation, Haukke Manor was long frowned upon by the people of Gridania as a symbol of excess. After years of protest, the building was finally sold to a wealthy wildwood Elysian by the name of Lady Amandine. I can't say her name. I keep wanting to say Amadine, but it's not. While little is known of the lady, it is said that she was exceptionally vain, and that to maintain her impeccable beauty, she would spare no expense, from facial creams constructed from rare Curfin honeys to shampoos derived from the mix of exotic herbals. Her daily ritual of beauty treatments escalated until it was rumored she was bathing in the blood of her virgin maidservants. No amount of man-made tinctures, however, could hide the hideous scars she eventually suffered during the calamity. And soon, she was forced to turn to a darker solution, signing away her very soul in a final effort to literally save face. Cool. Let's head in there then, shall we? So, Haukke Manor is a dungeon that has been heavily changed, but not as much as other dungeons in this game. This keeps the same layout for the most part, and the structure, but there's been some subtle changes, mainly in boss design, but also in progression, and I will explain that when we get to the second boss. But the main thing that this dungeon had going for it was it being confusing to navigate. There's a lot of running, grabbing keys, running back to do doors. It's basically the closest thing the game gets to being a Resident Evil mansion, and it looks great. I do like this dungeon a lot, and I have fond memories of it, even though there is the whole have I not cleared this dungeon? Oh, sugar. Well, this might be a chance to finally do that, I guess. But yeah, as you can see here, it's a weird layout too, actually. I feel like the map should be rotated a little bit. But yeah, a lot of the dungeon here you don't have to go through. This dungeon is notorious for being the place you get wax candles from, which are great for selling on the market. But firstly, before even going over there, we've got to head in here to go grab the tiny key in this room. You get good at telling what you need to grab. You get pretty good at knowing what you need. I'm not going to grab a bigger group here because the Manor maidservant here does do an attack that is awkward to deal with, and I don't know how the Marauders are going to deal with it. Once she's dead, we're going to go grab the other enemies. Hello? Right. Nice job, Marauder. Good job. Grab them. She's not doing it. So the maidservant had... There we go. Right. Right, that giant move, which is basically just stay away from me, don't attack me. Where are the other two right now? Oh, they're both AoE classes. That's why they weren't anywhere near us. Not AoE, they're range classes. So are they even pulling their weight right now? But I'm a sucker for a good mansion level. I love Resident Evil. Probably in my top 3 favorite IPs, alongside probably Zelda and Final Fantasy at this point, I think. I would say Sekiro, but that's an isolated game in FromSoft history, and I've already spoken my points about why I'm not a big fan of Dark Souls 3 and Dark Souls 2. But when it comes to Resident Evil, I love mansion design, like even the bad ones. I'm a big fan of Resident Evil 5's like DLC where you return to Spencer Mansion. And I'm far more willing to forgive that series than other series, I will say. Mainly because I've grown up with those games. Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 5. I've played Resident Evil 4 I think 4 times at this point. I played the remake twice. I think I played the remake 3 times actually. And I also played Resident Evil 4 in VR as well. But there's something about the design and going through all the different rooms, each room being intricately carved to be a different horror experience as you solve minute and small puzzles as you go around and avoid enemy encounters. It's just a feeling that cannot be matched, I feel. And I'm hoping with the Resident Evil 0 remake potentially happening soon, that we get a pretty cool game out of that. I don't know how they're going to handle Resident Evil 0 remake, considering how crazy the story is in that game. I love the story though. It's so stupid. It's probably the most stupid storytelling in the entire series. That's like maybe Resident Evil Revelations 1. They're just so cheesy and action movie-esque. I love it. But yes, main gimmick of this dungeon is collecting keys. I do sometimes wonder if Square Enix, like, they take a lot of inspiration from Capcom in some of their IPs, and vice versa, I think, to a certain extent too. Like, we had a recent dungeon in 14 that was very Resident Evil lab-like focused, and I feel like the two companies should like coalesce more because they have a lot of similar ideas in the company's things occasionally. And of course, I plan on playing Onimusha 1 and 2 this year. I don't plan on doing 3. The way I tend to do those series now is, once we get a release date, I will play Onimusha 3. Same way I'm going to be handling Metroid Prime 3. When we find out when Metroid Prime 4 comes out, I will play Metroid Prime 3. And that's probably going to be announced during the Switch Direct at the end of this month, which I am incredibly excited for. I'm so ready for Switch news. So this whole region over here, I have not explored. So I'm gonna go grab this part of the map. Oh, I actually need to open the door. Oh! Oh! Can't save me! It take a long time to kill these enemies. Probably should be a little bit easier once we get a monk, but we'll see. Has that cleared the map of this entire area? No, I haven't been to like that region at all. Damn, there's like parts of this game I haven't even seen yet. This area, anyway. Right, here's the first boss. Nothing too crazy. We do actually have a fun mechanic in the final fight here, where we get introduced to a new system. But we're not going to be seeing that until then. So this Void Fire move can be interrupted by the tank. Tank has a move called Interject, which allows them to cancel those flashing yellow moves that you saw on the screen there. I don't know if the tank's going to do that though. Probably not, because they're an AI tank. But I assume, like, in certain dungeons where that is a required mechanic, there is that case, I think, in Dawn Trail, in fact, there's a required mechanic where you need to do that. I think the tank does do that, but not all the time. Which you kind of have to do, because otherwise it's going to have a worse time because of that. Oh, that wasn't worth the risk. Oh no, I'm terrored. Nah, I'm frozen with fear and able to execute actions. Oh, oh, oh. He doesn't look that scared. So here's the first mechanic that people always get confused about. When you pick up the key here, you think, okay, we need to go head forward, right? That's like all the other dungeons so far. No, we're going to turn around and go back. And we're going to head towards this door here to go to the basement. Again, kind of having that Resident Evil idea. I do kind of hope, I know there's a low likelihood chance of that happening, that we do get dungeons like this again at some point in the future. Now, I've mentioned that before, but one of the things that is worth noting is we have kind of gotten that in the form of the variant dungeons, which they are good, the 3 of them that we have in Endwalker. They are designed in a similar way to this. But that's not what I mean. I also mean, like, open-ended dungeon design where you can choose the order at which you go through the area, because obviously that isn't the case here necessarily, but I love the idea of going through a dungeon and getting keys in a certain order and like mapping out the ideal route to get through it, because they don't really feel like dungeons. They feel more like, I don't know, train rides. You're running along the train and it's, you know, it's a dungeon experience. You're going through like a raid, of course, but it's not open-ended, and I kind of hope at some point maybe we get a complete overhaul in terms of the dungeon design to kind of compensate for that. And obviously people want the linear dungeon design because it makes it easier for roulettes, and that is fine, I understand that idea, but I also think that we shouldn't sacrifice efficiency for good dungeon design. And while I think the new dungeons are good in terms of mechanics for the bosses, the actual progression is a bit boring. So we're not picking up any of the keys here. We're going to be ignoring them and instead heading... Oh, okay, I'm not going to go that far ahead because I'm going to die if I do that. But yeah, so all of the cells here, outside of the last one, are non-essential. You do not need to go into them at all. The amount of times I've ran this dungeon, and I've also made this mistake before as well, and gone into the wrong cell, and then gone stuck because I had to fight people enemies. That's happened a fair bit, to be fair. Now, I think we're gonna... No, it requires a certain key, actually. I was gonna say we can put the key there, but we don't need to do that. I don't think. We can pick it up anyway, just in case. Just gonna grab this key just in case. Now I don't remember. I remember a lot about this dungeon. I don't usually go as tank in dungeons, so to be fair. I usually go as a DPS or healer. So I don't really have that experience when it comes to like navigating myself through the dungeon. Horse Manor appears a fair bit, I will say, in duty roulettes, and you do get the occasional time where everyone gets confused. But like, the one thing you do not want to do in that situation is panic and start blaming the person who's directing you, because there's a lot of dungeons in this game, and you have to remember a lot in this one in particular just to make sure you get through it efficiently. Like, the way I always go into dungeons is, the further through the game it is, there's a kind of a higher expectation. So in Dawn Trail, you kind of expect that the tanks and the DPS kind of know what they're doing. Especially when grabbing groups. But that has a line behind it though, like a limit. If a DPS is struggling or a healer is struggling, you should slow down for them and make it easier for them. And that also goes for tanks too. If the tank is struggling to navigate the dungeon, do not go ahead and grab the enemies yourself. The tank is very much in control of that, and it should mediate themselves if they are feeling uncomfortable with grabbing large groups of enemies. That is how it has been designed, and that's how everyone should follow it. And like, you might complain the dungeons take too little time to too long time to get through. The thing is, there's an expectation you're going to be in here for the full hour and 15 minutes. So the hour and 30 minutes. So it's not really the dev's fault. You should have prepared for that. Right, I was right. Good. I got the key. We got 2 keys to be fair. I don't know a bit of the other one. So we need to grab the yellow key. And this will open the door this way. Now the funny thing is, I've had it happen a lot before where people just walk up this ramp and then get stuck off the other side and have to run all the way back round to help the other players. But I'm glad that Haukke Manor has maintained a lot of its originality. They didn't completely just flay this dungeon of what it's like worth, like the 1,000 moors of Tantar Deep, whatever it's called. Well, 1,000 moors of whatever. That's what it is now, 1,000 moors of whatever. I'm glad that this dungeon got to retain its identity, and they even added something at this boss to make traversal a lot easier, and I'm going to explain that after we do this fight. This fight is kind of unique because it's one of the few times in the game where you fight 2 bosses at once. The game does not do this that often because there's no need, because like the tank grabs both of them anyway. Tank. Okay, good. I'm going to start by killing the Jester because they're going to use magic, and we don't want to deal with their AoE spells. And we're approaching the end of the fight. So, we've got some bloody map parking to look at here. We need to pick this up to get to the final boss. So, back in when this dungeon was released, you would have to now return back up to the top floor and go and fight the boss up there. If you remember, there was a staircase at the beginning that had a giant dark wall around it. We can now open it with a bloody parchment. Now, you could run back But the way people did it back then was they did a thing called return. Return will spawn you. So it says here, it instantly returns you to your current home point. Nope. In a dungeon, that will return you to the entrance of the dungeon. So that's your shortcut back. However, not many people knew that, and it led to a lot of people doing that, and then people being stuck at a thing and being like, wait, how do I get up there? I don't have this button on my hotbar. Now, luckily, the devs were smart, and they've added this ethereal flow point here now, which just teleports you back to the beginning of the dungeon. I kind of want to do return for return's sake, so I'm going to do that. So we're going to use this. Are the others going to follow me? I assume so. I actually have no idea. They do. Right. Nice. In the same battle orientation as well. So yeah, we can use the bloody parchment to break away the seal barrier. This is one of the few dungeons where there isn't a long third run for the dungeon. We do have this over here that I do kind of want to go to and see what it's about. So before we fight this winged eye, I'm going to go over here and unlock the rest of the dungeon. We got to get all the way to the door. It's crazy, I've never been over here before. It's locked. We got a tiny key though, to be fair. And while they go fight that, I'm going to go open this door. What could be behind this door that's so important? Mapping out Haukke Manor! Oh my god! I did it! I mapped out Realm Reborn dungeon. This ended up being quite useful for that, I will say. Mapping out the dungeons I haven't finished yet. It's been good so far. Right. So last enemy before going to the final boss here. Oh, it has the white lily on it. I just realised that. I never noticed that I was on the door. This is kind of like a mini boss, because this is a regular enemy who appears here and has some more fancy moves than the other ones. He's also kind of a unique encounter because unlike other mini bosses or other enemies, he actually does something interesting at the end of this fight that you'll see in a second. But yeah, we beat him up for a little bit. We just punch his eye and then he flees. He gets the hell out of dodge. Wow, she's so beautiful. Ah, look at my lovely purple skin. Well, surely you can't be happy in that state. I mean, look how hideous you are. Maybe if you can't see herself, I don't know. But yeah, here's Lady Amandine. We're going to go beat her up now. So yeah, this fight introduces a mechanic that will be a very crucial part of later dungeons. And just like overall like boss design in the entire game. So we've got Void Call, which I think allows her to respawn her little friend. So her little friend here is going to do a move that we call Petrifying Gaze. You see that eye? If you look towards that eye, you get petrified. You have to look away from it, you have to move your body away from it. Not your camera, but your actual character. And that is used a lot, even in extremes. So originally, and I think this is on the hard mode version, not the first one, but originally this dungeon had a mechanic where if Lady Handmaidens get close to the boss will kill them, and the boss will do a big AoE attack and gain a buff that makes them more powerful. And this ended up making the hard mode version of this dungeon quite difficult because players had no idea what was going on. So here we got another mechanic. We get seduced, which causes us to walk towards that direction. Once the seduction ends, you then turn away to avoid getting hit. This dungeon is really cool. I enjoy it a lot. And It's probably the best dungeon we've done so far, outside of maybe Tamtar Deepcroft, which again is a Gridania dungeon. Well, I say that, but we also had 1,000 more of Totobot, so maybe not. So the way I deal with this as a melee DPS is because the eye isn't ready on the boss herself, you can just stand in between. Oh god. She was prepared for that. But yeah, it's got a good flow for an early game boss, I think. I like how they've redesigned it to teach you the petrifying mechanic. Also makes sense to learn that here because it's like a horror boss. Of course you would learn a mechanic that was that startling here. Right, limit break time. You bitch! Oh! Don't move it. Don't move them, Slime Order. I'm gonna hit the boss. What a bitch! He was waiting for the moment I did the attack. Right, get behind it. Right, well, I think we're gonna just about avoid the enemy spawn. And that is the last dungeon of Pugilist. It was leveled up, nice. Right, great dungeon. I did it. I killed her. Now, again, if this is the later expansion, they'd probably use the sad animation there at the end of the fight. But no, we just don't care about her. I mean, considering the backstory, she did feel very vain. Even if it was sad what happened to her, like she wanted to kill her handmaiden so she'd look more pretty, even before the calamity occurred, according to that one guy. Oh? Darkness has taken root within these halls, sprung from the most unlikely of seeds. One cannot help but admire the irrepressible spirit that quickened it to death. Or life, not death. Yes, I fucked up. God damn it, man. Oh? You brought your friend? It is a pleasure to meet you at last, adventurer. You are every bit as intriguing as our master gave us to believe. Ascian of the 12th? Oh. It is no ordinary mortal who can acquire one crystal of light, much less 3. The crystals make you strong, and it is to that strength that the light is drawn. Heidelin chose well. Or maybe she chose poorly. A pity that your existence is irreconcilable of our own. We cannot well allow you to continue upon your present course. Why are you angry now? We knew they were evil before, Mahana. Alas, we came in not to play, but hid a message of your strength from Master Larabrea. That task now accomplished, we take our leave of you. So you did all of this to, like, test my strength? But you didn't even know I was here. You were doing this before I even arrived. Fare you well, bringer of light. They were just fucking about, and, like, they're trying to think of a good excuse to tell their boss why they were here, and they were like, well, you see, Larabrea, we were just trying to test his strength. Yeah, we weren't just fucking about with our darkness powers at all. Definitely not. Then Larabrea kills them both anyway. But I don't think they ever show up again. Right, that's Haukke Manor. We're gonna go back to Ursendale telling the bad news. This music is far too jovial for the news I am about to bring this man. It's like, oh, lovely Gridania music. Wait, why did the umbrella go away there? I went under this, right, okay, that's white. Well, that small of a little outcropping caused the rain to go away? I guess so. Hi, Ursendale. Got some bad news for you, buddy. You're returned. What sights awaited you in the manor? What has become of Lady Amandine? You must tell me, all. So I killed her. I'm sorry. So she went as so far as the consort of devils. Would that I have done more to prevent her fall. May she finally find peace in the beyond. I know not whether the masked man you encountered the same pair that first led my lady astray, but it is plain that they are of the same vile brood. Should the chance ever present itself, promise me that you will visit upon them tenfold the woe they have brought upon others. But who am I to speak of punishment? By my silence I allowed I know not how many innocent young women to die in unspeakable circumstances. Matters not wherefore, though with misplaced loyalty cowardice are both, I am an abettor to the gross crime. I must surrender myself to the authorities and accept whatever punishment they deem just. I only pray that the gods will have mercy on my soul. Shit! And they just leave it there too. Damn. What sad turn of events. Oh, Minfilia. At least this is the only time we had to pray return this episode. Right, pray return to the Waking Sands. Pray return has been complete. Let us pray return inside to go see how Minfilia is doing. Who I think just can't leave the Waking Sands. Have we ever seen it outside of the Waking Sands yet? I don't think we have. Like, he has only lived in this place. Oh, it sure is lovely here. Why don't you come out and meet me, Minfilia, for once? Why can't we do that? Why is it always going to be me to go out, huh? Welcome back, Rahana. Full glad am I to see you were safely returned. Tell me, how fared you in your sojourn into the 12th Wood? I don't even know what that means. Ida Border. 2 of Lahabrea's minions, and they sought to measure your strength by their own admission. The devils taunt us. It is beyond doubt, then, the Ascians have begun to move in earnest. Would that we knew to what end. Yet I am not bemoaned to our plight. Thanks to your tireless efforts, we are at least aware of the encroaching darkness. Alas, we can only do so much. It is clear to me that we Sarns are too few to protect the realm against this threat unaided. We must needs alert the free nations to the presence of this elusive enemy. Recommend that they heighten their vigil. There is no shortage of misery in the world that the Ascians might exploit. We have an arduous struggle ahead of us. Yet come what may, we must not allow ourselves to become lost to hope, for that is precisely what the enemy desires. I agree, Minfilia. We have gleaned all we can from the information available to us. Let us set aside this investigation aside for the present. Another matter is arisen that requires your attention. Let me know when you're ready to be briefed, and I will summon the others. And with that, chat, this short episode ends there. Because next time, we're going to have to do some of the boring stuff. But at least we get to go to a new location. And maybe I felt it was worse than how it was when I played it the first time. But once that is all done, we're going to have 2 bangers of an episodes after that. Well, no, actually. A banger and then half a banger. And then some slop. And then a great ending. Yeah, I'll see you guys for that. Ciao for now. And goodbye.